So let's go to the back page and really fill out our notes about the photosynthesis process. This has been greatly simplified, and this is all you need to know. You are welcome. Phase number 1, light-dependent reactions. They are called light-dependent because you must have light energy present in order for it to work. This occurs in the thylakoid of a chloroplast. So, from now on, as a bio student, please make sure you say and write that photosynthesis light-independent reactions occur in the thylakoid. Do not say chloroplast. It will be marked wrong. The light reaction steps. The chlorophyll in the thylakoid receives energy from the sun. Light energy absorbed by the excited electrons. These excited electrons cause even more to become excited. This excitement and jumping causes water to be broken down. Water is split into oxygen and hydrogen ions, aka the excited electrons, and then oxygen is given off as a gas. Okay, so let's go over that. Here you can see light hitting our pigment, chlorophyll. This then excites our excited electrons, which are called hydrogen ions. As these hydrogen electrons are excited, they begin to bounce around to other pigments and get more and more hydrogens or excited electrons excited. All of these begin to hit or start to bombard and break down water. Water is broken down into H, and O. The O gets released as oxygen. So, we have used 2 reactants and 1 product thus far. Light energy has been used, water has been broken down, and oxygen has been produced. Part 2 of Phase 1, called the electron transport chain. The excited electrons accumulate in the thylakoid membrane. A protein, you can see here, is embedded in the thylakoid membrane and acts like a pump. This pump will bring the excited electrons in and out of the membrane. As a result, ATP, and something you can't see up here just yet, is called NADPH, are created. These energy carrier molecules will help to then power the light-independent reactions. You can see it here a little bit better. Here's my accumulation of my hydrogen ions being pumped out of the cell of the thylakoid and making ATP, as well as being pumped out here to make NADPH. So if we sum up stage number 1, the light-independent reactions. Chlorophyll, which is the primary pigment, absorbs the light energy. Water is split and broken down. Hydrogen accumulates in the thylakoid membrane. Oxygen gets released, and that hydrogen builds up a gradient, which then provides the energy to create ATP and NADPH. Phase 2, light-independent reactions, meaning it does not need to have light present. The light-independent reactions, Phase 2, which we call the Calvin cycle. It can also be called the carbon dioxide fixation. This is where ATP and NADPH will provide the cell with large amounts of energy to help power this cycle. This stage uses our last reactant, carbon dioxide, to help make our final product, glucose. Again, I've also simplified this as much as I can. So let's get through the words and I can show you a diagram. 1 carbon dioxide molecule is going to be added to a 5-carbon compound. Don't worry about the name, just know that's a 5-carbon compound. This makes a 6-carbon compound. 1 plus 5 equals 6. That 6-carbon will be split into 2 3-carbon compounds. 1 is going to go on to create glucose. The other carbon compound goes back into the cycle to go through it again. Right? So here's the carbon cycle. Again, let's just follow the carbon atoms, which are represented by the blue circles. 5-carbon compound added to a 1-carbon compound, which is carbon dioxide. 1 plus 5 equals 6. This 6 is split into 2 3-carbon compounds. One will go on to make glucose, or sugar. The other will go back into the cycle to start over again. That is the Calvin cycle. So the end result of photosynthesis is Glucose is produced. Oxygen is also produced. Some factors that will affect photosynthesis: light, temperature, and carbon dioxide. Light intensity: as light increases, so does photosynthesis to a point when all pigments are used up. Carbon dioxide: when a certain amount of carbon dioxide is present, photosynthesis cannot proceed any further. If you think about it, take a deep breath. Hold it and try to take another breath. Keep holding it and keep trying to take breaths. But it comes to a point you can't take in any more. Same thing with a plant. It cannot continue to take in and take in and take in carbon dioxide without releasing any of the oxygen. Thus, carbon dioxide is a limiting factor. Obviously, it is needed for the last phase. Another factor is temperature. Plants like a certain temperature range, kind of like Goldilocks. They like it just right, and they like it between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. If it's too hot, as temperature increases, photosynthesis is going to decrease. If you think about it, in a desert, do you see a lot of plants? No, it's too hot. They can't do it. They can't go through the process. Opposite, if the temperature decreases, photosynthesis also decreases. Well, Antarctica, are there any plants there? No, it's too cold. It can't work. It won't function properly. Questions to ponder. Why do plants grown in the sun have smaller leaves than those grown in the shade? What's the main source of the excited electrons? What is the source of some of the replacement electrons? What is the role in photosynthesis of the following? Light, water, chlorophyll, pigments, ATP, NADPH, and carbon dioxide. What stage of photosynthesis would each of the limiting factors affect? Let's watch a little bit about some photosynthesis.
Hello kids, do you know how plants make their own food? No? Well, this video elaborates the process of photosynthesis, by which plants make their own food. Photosynthesis is the process used by plants to make their own food, or in more complex terms, it is the conversion of light energy into chemical energy by plants. This chemical energy is used by the plants for growth and nourishment. Photo means light and synthesis means putting together in Greek. When humans cook food, some essential things are required, including fire, water, vegetables, etc. Similarly, to make their food, plants also need some essential factors, including light, water, nutrients, soil, etc. Plants get light from the sun, water from the ground, and carbon dioxide from the air. All of these factors, including air, water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight, together help plants churn out their own food. Plants have tubes called xylem, located in the stems through which the water from the ground is sucked into the leaves. This system works similar to humans sucking liquids through a straw. The xylem is spread throughout the different parts of the plant, including the stem, branches, and all the way up to the leaves. The xylem transports vital nutrients to the entire plant. Xylems in the plant are like blood vessels in the human body that act as an important means of transportation of water and nutrients. Leaves on the plant have pores, very similar to the pores on the skin of our bodies. These pores are called stomata. These stomata are responsible for the exchange of gases. The carbon dioxide present in the air, which is responsible for photosynthesis, enters the plant through these stomata. Oxygen also comes out through these stomata. Leaves have important cells called mesophyll cells. These cells contain a green color component called chloroplast. This chloroplast is responsible for the green color of plants and leaves. Once the carbon dioxide and the water reach the chloroplasts in the presence of sunlight, the process of photosynthesis starts to take place. The following reaction takes place in the leaves of the plant during photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light energy results in oxygen plus glucose, or carbohydrates. The products formed are glucose and oxygen. Carbohydrates, which are a form of glucose, are synthesized from carbon dioxide and water. Glucose is used by the plants for their growth. Some of the glucose is used immediately, and the extra glucose, which is not used, is stored in the form of starch in the leaves. Some amount of this extra glucose is also stored in the roots of the plants. This extra glucose is used to perform photosynthesis when there is no sunlight. Oxygen is given out into the air through the stomata in the process of photosynthesis. The oxygen that is released is used by human beings to breathe during their respiration process. Ever wondered why this process is called photosynthesis? Well, the word photosynthesis is a combination of two Greek words, photo and synthesis. Photo means light in Greek, and synthesis means putting together or combining. Hence, photosynthesis literally means combining water or carbon dioxide in the presence of light. So the essential factors for photosynthesis to take place include sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Underwater photosynthesis takes place at a slower pace than the normal photosynthesis. This is because energy from the sun is absorbed by the water layers and only some amount of energy actually reaches the plant. There are some plants which don't need the process of photosynthesis to grow. Such plants include mushroom, Venus flytraps, etc. Mushrooms get their food from the ground and from their surrounding areas. Venus flytraps trap and catch small insects which come near the leaves and eat them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
This is all you need to know for photosynthesis.